Hey, Rach, come on in. You know your way around. Rachel Homan joins us. Woo! Come on in, Rachel. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Are you not too excited about it? I'm all excited when you drop by the old studio. I see in your, congratulations, by the way, the reigning world champion, two-time world champion.
Thank you.
We were just trying to, yeah, Warren and Kevin said the same thing. I said, how many Scotties? They both went, oh God, endless. I don't know who, God, millions.
Not that many.
That you've been to.
Not that many.
Yeah, lots since. When was your first? 2011.
Yeah. Yeah, that was only like 5 years ago, right?
2012. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, did you have a couple more kids since we last talked to you, or have you stopped? Is all your team stopped doing that?
I don't know. I can't. I can only speak for myself, and just one. Yeah.
And how's the baby?
Good. He just turned 1. He just had his first birthday, and he's got a lot more hair than on this video call. That's for sure.
Well, very excellent. Yeah. You can shut up, Warren. So you start. What have you been doing? First of all, in the off season, do you have any hobbies? Do you relax? Do you totally stay away from the rink?
Yeah, we did a little bit of camping. We moved houses. That was quite the feat with 3 young kids. We played a bit of golf, did a few charity tournaments and some tournaments with some friends for fun, and had a great summer. The weather was amazing out west, and yeah, it was fun to just hang out with the kids a lot and spend some good quality time and take them to lots of fun places, and it was great.
Obviously, you shouldn't have taken any time off. You've played in 2 events, and you were 2-0. Oh, okay, you won both. Yeah, you won the Scott. You won. Boy, that time off is really. I told you, don't do it, Rach. Okay, don't take the time off. You won the shorty, and is that your first event with Brendan?
Yeah.
The one in the mixed doubles that you won.
Yeah, Saskatoon.
Talk about it.
It was great. We'd never curled together, and just stepping on the ice, it felt easy, and he's a phenomenal shot maker, and that's a lot of what mixed doubles is being able to be that field player, and the ice is constantly changing. There's only a few good spots in mixed doubles, and the rest are guests, and it was a great weekend, and learned lots, and going to play in a few more this year together to try and hopefully qualify for the trials late December, and obviously we just want to play a few events together to make sure that all the nuances of mixed doubles, that we have that nailed down before hopefully going to trials.
And what are they besides the obvious between the mixed doubles and 4-person curling? What challenges did you find?
It's a bit different in that obviously there's a lot less sweeping. Line calling is a bit challenging, and then trying to learn like different preferences. So sometimes some players want to see a broom. Sometimes players would prefer someone sweep. Like, are you going to sweep your own? Is your partner going to sweep yours? Trying to find what each player needs and then what works best to try and make those shots. Because in mixed doubles, angles are so important, and not having that person in the house sometimes can be detrimental, or sometimes missing the sweep and not being able to get up right away can be detrimental. So trying to figure out what works. I think it's different team to team. When you look at a bunch of the top mixed doubles players, everyone kind of takes their own spin on it and what they feel most comfortable with. So those little nuances that you got to figure out. And then I've been playing the mixed doubles game for a while, so getting a bit more comfortable with the strategy. It's definitely different than 4s, and it's fast paced, it's fun, it's different. It's nice to play something that's just a bit of a change from the same 4s weekend after weekend.
Sounds like you figured it out to me. Yeah, looks like it. Kev, over to you, man.
Hey, thanks, Rachel. You're playing at Kamloops Park this week for the points bet. Are you at the hotels across the street where we all spent the COVID time? by chance?
Yes. So we pulled into this parking lot tonight.
My hands are getting all wet and I'm sweating here because of the I don't know how many days it was. I don't know how many nights or days you spent in that hotel. I think I was around 50 days stuck in the rooms.
I was there for a couple weeks, and then I left to give birth to a kid, and then came right back in. So it was definitely challenging in other ways for me, and definitely some interesting memories in this hotel.
That's for sure. Hey, one thing I wanted to ask you about when we were talking about the shorty you played in, and then the points bet, and then the slam coming up next. So the shorty was a round robin going into playoffs. Points bet, single knockout going into playoffs, and then the slam, the first slam of the year, the Hearing Life, is triple knockout. Is there a different approach? Does it make any difference to you? Because that's 3 completely different formats, back to back to back.
I think they're different, and they all have their advantages and disadvantages. I think still, the team that plays the best and most consistent throughout the week is going to be 1 or 2 at the end of it. So obviously with sport, there's a bit of luck and that goes along with whoever's playing well. So you need a little bit of luck and a lot of skill to win these events. There's such good teams at every event that we're in, and I think the format is kind of comparable. I mean, single knockout is a little bit more cutthroat, but there's only one event like that all year, and the rest are either triples or pools. And I think pools, if you see them properly, is probably I think has a bit more of an edge for, rounding out making sure that, your best move forward. And sometimes with a triple, someone has an off game, then it kind of throws everything off. But, if everything goes according to plan, it's equally great to play in.
Okay. Hey, how often is Brendan going to come with you as a coach, of course, for the 4-person team?
Yeah, he'll be around kind of as much as work permits, and he's all in, and he's excited to work with us and help get a few more percentage points and help push us. And he has so much experience, and such a positive guy to have around. We're super fortunate to have him on board, and he'll be with us. We have quite a few events out west, thankfully, this year, so it's kind of close to his home base, and makes it a lot easier for him to kind of attend more events.
Well, I think that's a really interesting chemistry between, you and him when he comes to one of your events as a 4-person game, and he's your coach. But then the next weekend, you're in a mixed doubles event, and your teammates. It's I'm really excited to watch, because I don't know of that kind of being a thing before. Yeah. At the highest level of a sport. So I think it's going to be fascinating to watch how that works, because I don't know if there's no way you could know how it's going to work, because I don't know if there's ever been an example of it before.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be great content for your podcast.
Hopefully he doesn't bench you in the mixed doubles.
Yeah, honestly. Thankfully in mixed doubles you forfeit.
I'm the coach. So
he doesn't have that option, thankfully. Yeah, no, I think it'll be great to have him, as a teammate and then as a coach, because it's, he'll learn my delivery really well in the 4s, and then it transfers over so well into mixed doubles as well. You need to, know how your teammate's going to throw and their tendencies and that. So I think it's just extra practice kind of for both.
Yeah, good point.
Great. Thanks for joining us, Rachel. Let's talk about the points bet. I think this is its 3rd year. This is kind of an interesting event. You mentioned already it's single knockout. I sort of thought this event might have made more sense in time if it had the top 16 ranks in Canada, but it has the top 10. But the other 6 are interesting. It's the Alberta champion, the U Sports champions, the U25 champions, the U21 champions, the Curling Club champions, and the Canadian College champions. Now, in your first game, this is kind of unique. You currently have 498 CTRS points, maybe more than that now, but that's what I've got here. But the team you're playing against has 4. A little bit of a contrast. What do you know about Gabby Wood as far as that team is concerned? Have you ever seen them play, or do you know much about them?
No, I mean, I don't know their team per se. But I think if they just play in events that don't have as many points, like you're just not going to get the points. So I think,
Right.
just because they only have 4 points doesn't mean that they're not a great curling team. So, yeah, sometimes I think CTRS points can be misleading, and that, if they're focused on their goals of, representing the at the college level, there's not going to be many points there. So even though they're, practicing and pursuing that goal of winning, and then they did, and, congratulations to them on a successful year, but it didn't get them women's CTRS points per se. But
Right.
I mean, that doesn't speak to the caliber of the team at all.
No, that's true. I guess my point is a bunch of young teams here which are making their way up the ladder. Do you think this is a good event for these younger teams to play in against people like yourself? Do you think you like the idea?
Yeah, I think it's, great exposure for them to come and play on arena ice. I don't know how often they get to play on arena ice. Teams like Mila Plett, they do get to play on arena ice. They've played so many nationals and play downs and things like that. So it's just great when we have like the next gen or, up and coming teams that just have more exposure on, getting used to playing in front of the cameras and kind of how the events go and, how you prepare for them. And I think it's great to have that exposure for those teams for sure.
Good. So you're going to complete this event the end of the week, and you're going to head straight to Prince Edward Island for the first Grand Slam in the year, as Kevin has mentioned.
Yeah.
Do you expect any different things with this first event? I know that Nick Solsky's told us there's going to be a big announcement sometime this week. Maybe you know about what's coming down, but do you expecting anything different in PEI from the past?
Yeah, I was in touch with Nick a bit this summer, and it's just been a crazy fall so far. And no, not entirely sure what's coming down the pipe, but I know that everything that he's doing for the slams and the sport is, with his whole heart, and he's trying to work on making things exciting and trying to bring new perspective to the sport. So it's I expect a kind of a similar feel for the next slam, and I know that they're adding, some a couple fun aspects to it as well that I don't know if I'm allowed to announce on here, but yeah, I think
Blow the lid off it.
think-
Go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
absolutely
Blow
not.
the
I'm
lid
not
off
going to
it.
be one to. Yeah, I am not sure the certain big announcements, but yeah, I think it'll be great for the sport, and excited to see what's next for it.
Great.
Good dodge.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Nick's one of those guys, man, where you're going, I'll tell you what, his house party you don't want to miss, man. This guy, I like Nick. I think something's going to happen there. You know what I mean, Rach? I mean, this guy's like, what's going on, man?
I played the fifth.
He could be a member of the Blue Man Group. I just saw them in Vegas. Rachel, we had on a nice young guy early in the program, Danny Sherrod, who won the North American Club Championship. He's from Beaumont, by the way, where you're from, and he took the prize, and he was very, very serious about how serious that was that he won. That he said, look at we weren't laughing at him, of course, by any means, but he said this thing's a serious thing, and I'd like to see more and more people take it serious because we're not all A-level curlers, but it does give us something. Just like playing in the U.S. amateur golf or the Canadian amateur golf, you probably started in curling when teams weren't curling full time. I'm trying to figure that out, but around that time, and now you're in an era where it's all full time curling. It's if you're gonna take a shot at the top, you're gonna have to curl full time. If you were to advise these kids who are now coming forward, what are you going to say to them at a young age, at 12 or 13 or 14 years old, when they get interested in curling? Do you ever see it going back to a way that someone could be world class but not curl full time?
Yeah, like I don't know that I totally agree with you that we're just full-time curlers. Everyone on the team has a job, and I don't think that we're quite there yet to just be able to curl full-time. I know some of the men's teams, I think, are able to do that, but even, they still have at least something part-time, a lot of them full-time. It's a sport where it's not professional, and if knock on wood, one of us breaks our leg tomorrow, that there's no one to pay the bills. There's no insurance policy. There's no, if it's something that you can't come back from, you have to find a job in a hurry. So it's not something that we can do full time. You always have to have something going on, and definitely a backup plan. But I think a lot of us have chosen careers or taken paths that maybe weren't as lucrative with our jobs, but it allows for flexibility for us to be able to curl the amount we need to be at the level that we want to be at, and that we can still attain our goals and get in the practice. And it's kind of sometimes burning the candle at both ends, but I think we've chosen jobs that maybe aren't the dream job, or the ones that have the most opportunity for promotion, or the highest paying ones, just because it doesn't allow you to curl. And so I think those are kind of the sacrifices that a lot of curlers have made along the way. And you've seen a lot of curlers, like great curlers, just have to walk away because, the job just pays so much more, and you got family to think about and your future. And, is it worth rolling the dice? And it can be challenging to find that happy medium, right? To be able to, put a roof over your kid's head and also chase your dreams, and your goals.
I guess then, do you ever see it getting too full? Like some teams do full time.
Yeah.
But do you think there will come a day that you guys will be allowed?
Yeah, I think that's
to not have to sacrifice so much.
I think that's some of Nick's dream, and what he's trying to pour into the sport, and trying to bring it more into the States, bring it overseas, and try and bring more exposure and other networks into the sport, to be able to bring that dollar value and maybe make them franchise teams and change the sport in that way. Who knows what's going to happen down the road, but I think those are kind of the vision and the dreams from Nick's perspective, and from the curling group. They're trying to make it into something like that, which would be amazing for us.
Thanks for going gentle on me. That was a good first question, Jim, but you were wrong.
You've never been wrong before.
I don't know. What do you mean, Jim? We're not curling full time. What's all this shit about curling full time?
Yeah, who's curling full time?
Yeah, right. You know what I mean, though. It's getting towards.
I mean, you have to curl.
Rachel, you got to go practice.
You got to also find hours where you can do some sort of job somewhere.
Yeah, no kidding. I may be talking my way out of a job here on Inside Curling if I keep asking questions that are so stupid.
No, it's a good question. I think a lot of people
Rachel, you got
that.
Oh, thanks, Rach.
See there, Jim.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, let's get out of here before I wreck it. Rachel, thanks a lot. You got to jump on the ice here in a few minutes, and good luck this weekend. Well done so far. Not surprising at all. That you're 2-0. And there's nothing stopping the Homan train. So we'll be watching. Thanks all for coming on, Rachel. We appreciate it. We know you're busy.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.